Hey there, I'm recording this episode the Monday after Thanksgiving and a weekend of intentional rest. With all of the Black Friday chaos, I tried my best not to get sucked into all of the sales and pressure to buy because, like you, I don't need any more stress or, quite frankly, more stuff in my life. What I need and truly desire is peace. I feel it more than ever lately. And in today's episode, I want to encourage you to do whatever it takes to feel at peace in this tumultuous season of life. And I'm not talking about the holidays, I'm talking about midlife and more specifically perimenopause. Because if you've been feeling more irritable, impatient, angrier than usual, snapping at people you love, or getting irritated over the smallest things, this episode, all about rage and perimenopause, is for you. This rage that many women experience blindsides them. I see it in clients, I see it in Facebook groups, I hear it from podcast listeners, and I have felt versions of it myself. This isn't PMS irritability, it is a different animal. And this is the part that most women are ashamed to admit. You catch yourself thinking thoughts like, I swear if one more person asks me for one more thing, or I don't even want to be around my family right now. I could honestly run away and never come back. If my partner chews any louder, I may lose my shit. Or is this marriage even right for me anymore? These thoughts scare women because they don't feel rational, but this is what happens when hormones, stress, and depletion collide. So I want to walk you through why perimenopause rage is so real, what's driving it, and more importantly, what actually helps. So let's call it what it is. You're fine 1 minute and then you're not. You're overstimulated by noise, mess, conversations, your partner's chewing, basically everything. You're snapping faster than you ever have. You're offended or bothered by things that wouldn't really have bothered you years ago. Your tolerance is gone. Your patience is thin. And afterward, you feel guilt or shame because your reactions make you feel like a monster. A lot of women say, I don't recognize myself anymore. So let's break down what's actually happening in your body. Progesterone is your calming hormone. It supports your sleep, mood stability, and emotional regulation. But around the age of 35, 36, it starts to drop quite drastically. So you lose that emotional regularity, the mood stability, the really good deep sleep. Everything feels sharper, louder, and more intense. And I've said this before, and I will keep saying it. I believe that most women, if not all, should be on some form of progesterone. And if you've reacted poorly to it in the past, please know that there are other options besides oral. There's different formulas, dosing, and sometimes you have to dig a little deeper to figure out why you're reacting so poorly. Then there's estrogen. Estrogen swings wildly. We love estrogen, but it is not a gentle decline because our ovaries are trying to produce these hormones because our body needs them so much. But every swing and fluctuation of estrogen is going to affect your serotonin, mood regulation, and emotional stability. So when you combine low estrogen with low progesterone, you got irritability, crying spells, emotional reactivity, low tolerance, and yes, that rage. Then we have our friend cortisol. This one is huge. Your stress hormone, cortisol, becomes somewhat unpredictable. You go into fight or flight much faster than ever before. Things feel bigger than they are because your nervous system is much more reactive. And then we have mineral depletion and burnout. Like most women, you probably have years of people pleasing, doing everything yourself, carrying the mental load for your family, never truly resting, perfectionism, comparison, not wanting to ask for help, leaky boundaries or no boundaries at all, and then under eating or overtraining or being sedentary and putting your health on the back burner. And all of this leaves you absolutely depleted. You have low magnesium, low potassium, low sodium. These are things we see time and time again with our clients. All of this impacts your mood, your resilience, and emotional reactivity. So when your hormones shift, you have zero reserve to handle it. This stage of life hits at a crossroads of hormones, responsibilities, your identity, and burnout. Women in their 40s are juggling so much: career, aging parents, I know I am, kids, partners, households, other people's expectations of you and demands of your time, maybe a troubled marriage as a result of all of this, and you often feel alone. So when rage comes up, it often feels like, I want to run away. I want to disappear for a month. Do I even want to be in this marriage anymore? Maybe I'm just not cut out for this life. These thoughts don't mean that something is wrong with your life. This means that something is wrong with your resources. You're tired, you're depleted, you're unsupported, your hormones are shifting, and your nervous system is waving a giant red flag. So here are some of the things that we walk women through inside of the perimenopause method. And it works when they show up for themselves. This does not work if you don't value your health or prioritize yourself. If you're somebody who has every excuse in the book, if you are quote unquote too busy to care for yourself, no program will work for you. You have to quite literally change your mindset and priorities to feel good in this phase of life. It's not easy. It's definitely not easy. But if you truly desire change, then you do what you have to do to feel good. So the first thing is, I want you to give yourself grace. You don't need to judge yourself for having a human response to a very real hormonal shift. I just shared some of the reasons why this is happening, but know that you can change it with the right mindset and support. Next is, I want you to prioritize rest like it truly matters, because it does, not when I get around to it. I'm talking about actual rest. Naps throughout the day, if possible, cuddling with your kids or pets, watching cheesy Christmas movies, going to bed earlier, minimizing your time on social media. That is a huge one. Not watching the news or getting worked up over all the political bullshit. Your nervous system desires rest. Ask for help. This is a huge one, and so many women refuse to do it. Women who struggle with perimenopause rage are often the women who are doing everything themselves, and they take on way too much. They don't accept help. They don't know how to say no. They don't let others do things like their husband or their kids because it's not, quote unquote, perfect or the way they would do it. But you cannot outrun burnout. It will hit you and you will feel it. One reason for your rage is because you refuse to slow down and let things go. Supporting minerals and nervous system. This alone moves the needle so much for our midlife clients. Minerals are foundational, yet there are so many practitioners out there selling you every expensive functional test under the sun, which often leaves you with more questions, more confusion, and super complicated and overwhelming protocols. You cannot regulate your emotions and mood from an empty tank. So supporting your minerals and loving on your nervous system is the first step. Of course, I want you to consider proper hormone replacement therapy. I know that there's so much controversy around this, which is just mind-blowing to me because hormones are needed for nearly every function in the body. Now, if you've been paying attention to anything in the hormone space, you would know that the FDA recently agreed to remove the black box warning from estrogen products. This is long overdue, and we still have a lot of work ahead of us in order to improve women's healthcare, but it's a great step in the right direction. When progesterone and estrogen are balanced appropriately, your mood shifts, your rage and emotional reactivity often improve significantly. And of course, you need to get support. You do not have to sort through all of this on your own or in some random Facebook groups. That alone is completely overwhelming, trying to get answers from other women who, quite frankly, are not experts and they don't know about you and your individual needs. Everything that you're feeling is fixable when you have the right guidance and you are 100% committed to your health and well-being. So if you're feeling angry, reactive, irritable, or like you want to run away from your own life, it doesn't mean that you're a bad person, a bad mom, or a bad partner. You are in perimenopause and your body is begging for help. So at the time of this recording, we still have a sale on our perimenopause clarity session where I take a look at your symptoms. We look at your diet, your lifestyle, any supplements you're taking, and even HRT if you've started some. I will also review one lab test and give you some action steps to take so that you have clarity and you leave with hope. If you want support through this stage, the link is in the show notes. Now, please do me a favor and leave a review if you're listening on Apple or Spotify. Subscribe to my channel if you watch on YouTube, and share this with a friend who needs support. Until next time. Hey, before you go, if you're resonating with this podcast and realize that your symptoms are anything but normal, my comprehensive program, the Perimenopause Method, may be a great fit for you. My team and I help women in their mid-30s to early 50s improve symptoms such as fatigue, disrupted sleep, anxiety, erratic moods, bloating, and much more. We do this by utilizing advanced testing, a personalized plan tailored to you, women's health and hormones education, and ongoing support so you never feel alone and you get results. If you're ready to commit to your health and feel like yourself again, but even better, check out the link in the show notes to learn more about the Perimenopause Method. The information provided is for educational and informational purposes only. I am not, nor do I act as a doctor or any other medical professional. I am not providing healthcare, medical services, or attempting to diagnose, treat, prevent, or cure any physical, mental, or emotional disease or condition. The information shared is not intended to be a substitute for the professional medical advice provided by your own medical or mental health provider.